Hey, what's up, guys? It's Rudespy here, and I've been watching the recent Rust Kingdoms streams and whatnot on Twitch that they got going on, and I figured, this would be a pretty good time, possibly do an in-depth basic tutorial how to play Rust the year 2024. So Rust isn't really like other games in the sense that you just load up a save, join a matchmaking system. Rust is very different. Sense that when you play Rust, you're going to be selecting a server from an endless sea of servers. Now you see they have like different options here in the server menu. Official servers, which is typically all vanilla. Different servers have different wipe schedules. Now what is a wipe? So a wipe in Rust, essentially every Thursday, usually around 1 or 2 p.m. It can vary depending on the server. Essentially restart the server and a whole new island is procedurally generated with all the different monuments and biomes and everything changing their locations and everything. Everyone's bases get wiped. If it's the first Thursday of any month, that's typically a force wipe. There's a force wipe on a server. It's essentially the same as a regular weekly wipe, but that's also usually when they implement like big changes to the game. Most servers are going to wipe all of your progress. That's like all your blueprints, your base, everything. Like I said, it's just like a regular wipe on a server. When they go and reset it, different island, different locations, everything changes. Everyone essentially starts from scratch on the beach. Many different servers that you can choose from. Like I said, most all of the official servers are going to be vanilla, which is pretty low gather rate. So usually, wipes on these servers, it's really slow, drawn out. Whereas you can go over here into the modded tab. Now you have like 5x's, 3x's, 2x's. Pick your poison. Got 1 million X's. There's battlefield servers, which is just basically nothing but PvP. That you don't really typically play a wipe on a battlefield server. It's mainly just fighting others. Of course, if you have friends that you play the game with, if they have rich presence on in their options in Steam, you can see what servers that they're playing and you can join directly to them. You can favorite different servers by clicking the little star next to the server. That'll add it to your favorites. I don't want to favorite EU low pop, no offense, for demonstration purposes. You also have a history, so servers that you've played within a certain time frame. So if you ever are on a server and it restarts and kicks you out, you can go into your history, and usually if they're restarting, it'll take about 10 to 15 minutes, depends on the server, to reboot back up. But once it does, it should appear here in your history. You can just refresh the list. That should pull up all the servers that you recently played on. Now, Rust does have an item store if you wish to buy weekly cosmetics. They usually reset every week on Thursday when the servers wipe. This will be replaced with all new skins. You can view your skins in your inventory here, just above the item store. Pretty self-explanatory. So if you do decide to purchase any skins, they will end up here. But yeah, your skins will show up here. You can check out news. Usually whenever they do big monthly updates and whatnot, they'll usually go and post a whole article telling you kind of what's changed. This wipe, is the tier 1 handmade SMG, which is a new gun that they've introduced to the game. And they also introduced the SKS, tier 3 semi-automatic rifle. It's supposed to be better than the semi-automatic rifle in the tier 2. They also updated the animal UI. You're probably going to die a lot to these guys, I'm not gonna lie. As it stands right now, kind of busted. You can wave your torch at the wolves to kind of keep them at bay. I've also heard screaming at them kind of gets them to screw off. I'll still have to test that one. Yeah, Gesture Pack DLC, great stuff. Now before you load up on a server, depending on what type of server you're on, what kind of computer you have, you may have to adjust some of your settings. You can do that here in the options tab. You go down to graphics. You can set all these different things you're liking. I don't have like a crazy beast of a computer, but I like to think that I play at a pretty decent quality, even though it is on low. But yeah, you can find all different types of settings in here, tweak them once you get in game, kind of see how your computer handles it, Rust is a pretty demanding game, so you might want to have a look at your settings before really getting into it, and can help kind of avoid maybe some headaches. Same thing with image effects and experimental. There's different settings and whatnot that you can change in here. All sorts of different settings. You can have a look around with that at your discretion. Now, one thing that also kind of sets Rust apart from other games is you do have an F1 console. So if you hit the F1 key on the row above your main row number keys, function 1, it'll bring up this console. Now you can pull this up in game, and there's some different commands you can do. Like for example, if you do need to respawn, you can type kill. There is ways to bind different commands to different keys. For example, I have the kill bind set to K. You do something like bind K kill, and then you can see in game. Also, this is another way you can connect to servers too. If you have the IP address of a server that you're trying to join, you can do client connect and then just, you know, whatever the IP is, you know. Usually you can find that information either in their Discord or their website. Now you might be thinking to yourself like, okay, Rudespy, I know about the menus and stuff, man. Just tell me how to play Rust already. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick a server to hop onto. Now, I will say in the official servers, if you are looking for kind of like a lower pop, kind of chill wipe, where you can kind of learn the ropes easily, I honestly recommend Face Punch servers kind of for noobs. They do have like servers called Rust for Noobs, but usually the players on those servers can be pretty sweaty. So, you know, I would say, you know, you could start on any of these Face Punch servers. One thing that is different with the official Face Punch servers, they don't typically wipe the blueprints when they do a force wipe, like a monthly force wipe. So essentially, if you play a server and you get all the blueprints, you're gonna have them for quite some time. Like I said, they don't really wipe the blueprints very often. Like they'll still do their monthly wipes and all that stuff where they'll wipe the slate clean, but you'll still have your blueprints. It's a really easy way to like come back to the game. You don't have to do that scrap grind to get everything. And so yeah, it's a good option, I think, for beginners. So you can just, you know, grind out all the scrap and then you can play around with some of the different items and whatnot in the game. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick one of these. Now some of them are pretty populated, like it's almost 8 in the morning when I'm recording this. So the EU servers are kind of popping, but the US servers are kind of dead. But honestly, I think that might be to my advantage. I'm gonna hop on, I think I have BPs on this one. US East Face Punch 1. It's pretty low pop. There are still some people in here, so I might run into folks. Before you load into a server like this, you can set your alias and edit your profile on Steam. So today I will be Duke Davis. I do have all the achievements in Rust, so I have beaten the game, so you can take my word for it. This is 5,500 hours in the making. The 5,500 hour, 500th video basic Rust tutorial. Okay, so you have spawned on the beach. What now? Typically, you know, when you spawn on a beach, you're gonna have a rock and a torch. It's gonna be your two most important items. I see so many people throw their rock and their torch on the ground. No, do not do that. These are your tools. You have them every time you spawn for a reason. Let you gather. These help you see when you need light. Very important. Let's take a look at our inventory. So if you press tab, you're gonna open up quick inventory. So this is essentially your backpack. This is where all your loot's gonna go. This is your hotbar. This is where all your active items you're using. If you take it out, you can't pull it out. So you have to have it on your hotbar. You can use scroll wheel to switch between the two, or you can press the number associated with it. So if I want to pull out my rock, I hit 1. If I want to pull out my torch, I hit 2. It's over here. That's 6. All right, now I know how the hotbar works. Okay. So anyhow, now you might notice this little section over here says quick craft. As you gather items that you can craft, if I were to go pick up some resources and whatnot, eventually I'd be able to craft things. Like if I had 30 cloth, you know, I'd have a sleeping bag and it would show up in my quick craft because I can craft it on my person. Over here is going to be your characters, like clothing slots and everything. So it doesn't matter really which slot you put them in. It will equip the clothes to your character. This is where you put backpacks and parachutes and scuba tanks. Hey man, do you think you could quiet down? I'm trying to do a tutorial over here. Thank you. Respectfully.
Yeah, I'm sorry bro. Let me just finish this fucking rock sign. Yeah, I'll be 1 sec. Sorry bro. There you go man. Love you.
Thank you man. Wow, that guy. You have no idea. That guy, honestly, I'm surprised he didn't kill me. Okay, so that's one of the island dwellers. Like that wolf met its demise. Where should you go from here? Okay, this is gonna be really scatterbrained doing this tutorial because there's so much to go over. Okay, so this here is a little wood pickup. If you go and press E on it, you can see down here in this corner, kind of blurs it out when I do that, but over here above your health, it'll show when you pick things up. Like I just show I picked up 50 wood. So each one of these worth 50 wood. When you doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot when you got nothing. You can find these mushrooms on the ground, which I just kind of hastily picked up. Okay, here's a mushroom. So yeah, if you find these mushrooms, it's good to pick them up. They give you 3 instant health, 15 calories, and 5 hydration. So basically, this will make your health and food and water bars very happy when you consume them. Oh, delicious. Okay, there are also these berries and stuff that you'll find around the world. These are white berries. These are yellow berries, red berries, and blueberries. Damn, that's like actually all the main ones. Oh my god, and hemp. Look at this, hemp fibers. So if I had to rate these, I would say hemp is one of the most important things that you can pick up if you see it out in the world. You'll see whenever you harvest the hemp, you're gonna get 2 seeds. It's like that for every hemp plant. You can plant the seeds, and when you plant the seeds, it's a little different from when they spawn in on their own. This is actually gonna have its own set of genetics. So that's kind of more complicated. I might build a farm to kind of show the basics of that if you're interested, but that might just be a separate video. One thing about looking at plants that you plant like this, if you have a weapon in your hand, usually like a gun or anything, and you look at it, it's not going to show all this information. So you got to put away your weapon or hold like a flashlight or just like something non-threatening, like a tool or something, and it'll pull up this little menu here. It's kind of finicky like that. So looking at these genes, these are no good. I actually have all the genes here, all in one place, so I can explain kind of what they do, kind of basic stuff. So the X is a empty gene. It doesn't really hurt the plant, doesn't really help the plant. It's just a waste of space, essentially. You have the Y gene, which stands for yield. The more Ys that you have, the more clones you'll get when you clone them, and also you'll get more cloth from this plant if it has multiple Ys once it's fully grown. Now the G gene, that stands for growth rate, so that's how fast the plant grows. The W gene means that this plant is going to take up a lot more water when it's growing, so that kind of sucks a little bit. You don't really want W's because you're going to be going through water like crazy. And then you have the H gene. So the H stands for hardiness, and if you have 6 H's on a clone, you could honestly plant this stuff directly in the snow and it will grow. I've done it. But yeah, I mean, you can pick these. Oh wait, okay, so that was actually a greenberry plant. Okay, here's another greenberry plant. So the greenberry plants are kind of like the trash of the berries. You mainly use the berries to go and like craft different teas and stuff. The green berries are really only good for anti-rad tea, and it's not really that useful. So we usually just skip the green berries. A lot of people say like, you know, making the teas is kind of end game. I disagree. You know, I say honestly, if you can get a decent amount of berries, you find a mixing table, it's very huge in the start of a wipe. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do a little organize here. Got my berries in line. So I have 4 yellow berries and 2 white berries. So I can make a scrap tea with these 2. If I had 1 more blueberry, I can make an ore tea. And if I had 1 more red and 1 more blue, I can make a wood tea. So even a basic tea is huge in vanilla. I want to try and find all the pickups. So like I showed you the wood pickup. I need to find like the stone and the sulfur. Look at this, more red berry, hemp. Gotta grab hemp. You'll see now my quick craft is pre-populated with different things. You can favorite different items to make it easier to find in the quick craft. I would highly recommend putting bandages, sleeping bags, and small stashes on quick craft on your favorites. So you could do that. If you press Q, it'll open your crafting menu, or you can click up here. Contacts is something different. This is like different people that you'll see in the world. But your crafting menu, kind of overwhelming. There's a lot of different things you can make in Rust. Construction is going to have basically all the doors, locks, code locks, ladders, walls, ladder hatches, all the stuff, like all the deployables and stuff that you need. You know, tool cupboards, all the stuff you need to make a base is in construction. And then tools is where, you know, obviously all your tools are stored. You know, you craft stone hatchets, and then the next stage is metal hatchets, and then you have salvage tools And beyond that, there are tools that you can't craft. Like you can craft a chainsaw, but you cannot craft a jackhammer, but you can purchase them from different vendors. Oh, look at this, beautiful. So potatoes. Potatoes are great. They give a lot of calories and they are easy to grow. Okay, here we go, more wood. And then we have a metal ore pickup. More wood, more metal. Ooh, here we go. This is a stone pickup. Very important to pick those up when you see them, because sometimes stone can be hard to find. Now, just with all the stuff that I've picked up, I can craft myself a bow because I have the necessary wood and cloth to craft it. It takes 200 wood and 50 cloth. Each one of those hemp plants gives you 10 cloth. Now I have just a little bit of wood. It does take 25 wood and 10 stone to make one set of arrows. So I can make myself 4 arrows. It's not very much. Let me just hit a tree real quick. I should have more than enough to complete the arrows. Okay. So as you can see, it uses the materials instantly. It is held up in the crafting queue. Now you can cancel it and get the resources back, which is kind of a dubious little way to exploit the crafting queue for certain things. For example, a tool cupboard costs 1,000 wood to craft. So if you ever kill someone in game and they have lots of wood on them, spam craft tool cupboards. It's not showing up now because I don't have enough wood, but you can spam craft. You can left click to craft one of that item, or you can middle mouse wheel click to craft 5 of those items. Okay, so I have a bow. I also have enough to make a sleeping bag. And then also kind of another important little tidbit, small stashes. Small stashes are pretty good because they allow you to go and put resources away for later. So if you press G, you'll be able to open up the map. You can kind of see what you're working with here. You know, you have the snow biome, you have the grass, you have the desert. But also another biome that people don't really think much about is the ocean. The ocean is its own thing. There's junk piles that spawn out on the ocean that you can farm using a boat and hitting tools. Get lots of components that way. Now there's different nodes you can find out in the world. You have sulfur nodes right here. Usually it's not worth it to farm sulfur with a stone pick unless you have no other choice and you just need a little sulfur. Interrupting my tutorial. Okay, so anyway, sorry for that inconvenience. Usually mining sulfur nodes and stuff like that, it's really mainly worth it with metal tools and above, because you'll get the most yield from it. Same thing with metal nodes and stone nodes. You do get a reduced rate for using stone tools, but if you got nothing else, it's what you got. You also have stone nodes. This is what they look like. Man, what a good tutorial, bro. They're all lined up, just like that. Just so I could go and find them all. Okay, so we are getting places. We are learning how to play Rust, guys. Oh, there we go. Look at this. Okay, so we got the wood pickup, the sulfur pickup. That'll give you 50 sulfur each. The metal pickups are also 50, and the wood pickups are 50. If you have mushrooms on your hotbar, pressing that key will allow you to eat it. Same with any other food item that you may have in your hotbar. More potatoes, very good. We are just getting lucky today. So many pickups. So yeah, as you can see, we got a lot of stuff. Now, worms and grubs, kind of worthless. You could honestly throw these away, but if you are interested in like fishing and stuff like that, you do want to hang on to these because they are valuable in that sense. I just need a little bit more wood. What we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and craft us some tools just so we have them. All right, there we go. That's enough. In order to craft a complete set of tools, stone pick and the stone hatchet, you need 200 wood for each, and you need 100 stone for each. So if you get 400 wood, just get 200 stone. That's all you need. Give this a whack. Now what you can kind of do to cheese it a little bit, once you have enough stone for the pickaxe, go ahead and craft that. Now I did say don't throw away your rock and torch and whatnot, and I still stand by that. But in this instance, because I'm getting tools, the rock can go. Just the rock, though. I can craft another rock if I need to. It's only 10 stone. So as you can see, I got about 600 stone from that. Going ahead and craft myself a hatchet. So now that I have a bunch of stone, get some wood. Now, if you hit the X, it's a little bit faster. You get a bonus for hitting it, and it fells the tree the fastest. Now, I am going to go ahead and craft myself a building plan and a hammer, which is very important. You can see it comes up here in my quick craft. Left clicking that, you craft the item. It is getting nighttime here, so I might just have to box myself in for a second. I guess since it's nighttime, it's a pretty good chance to kind of go over the menu here. So yeah, depending on what you're looking for, you can find it in the different tabs, or if you're looking for something specific, there is a search bar here. Like if I wanted to craft a rocket, pull up rocket, it'll show you over here how much damage it does, the lethality, blast radius, all that information here shows you what you need to craft a rocket. So as you can see, it takes 2 metal pipes, 150 gunpowder, and 10 explosives. To make 10 explosives, 500 gunpowder, 30 low-grade fuel, 100 sulfur, and 100 metal fragments. The overall gunpowder cost to craft one rocket is 500 gunpowder plus 150, which is about 650 gunpowder per rocket. Late game, when you're doing raids, remember, Rust is a numbers game. With the right tools, metal tools, salvage tools, anything above this, jackhammer, you'll get your max yield from each node. When you're farming up for a big raid, every little bit helps. There are different items that glow in the game, so it's kind of pay to lose, but at the same time, it looks cool, doesn't it? So I've boxed myself in here in a little triangle just to wait out the night. You'll notice on this twig, there's an X going through the side of the wall. If you were to go onto the other side of this wall, it doesn't have that X. So the X indicates that that is the soft side of the wall. This would be the soft side of the ceiling. This would be the soft side of the foundation. So the soft side takes much more damage if you're trying to chop it out. Now when you damage something, you can't really see it because it's dark, but there's a little raid block that happens. So for about 30 to 40 seconds, you can't build anything here. Press and hold right click to open up the wheel. Try and place a wall. Can't. That's because of the raid block. Not today, you. Get away from me. Get away from me. Stat. Go. Get out of here. Hey, get away from me. I don't want to see your ugly looking face. Get out of here. Okay, so I have arrived at a monument. This is called the Rad Town. It's fairly old technically, but they brought it back here recently, so it's kind of new-ish. An old concept, just new design. I don't think I have enough rad protection to go in here though. At least maybe here in the center I do. Ooh, a lot of rads. A lot of rads. Well, it's nice to know that you can just kind of safely pass through the middle here at least. We'll be back here at some point. Okay, so I'm heading over here towards this harbor. Nice little example here. If you ever find a camping or like a camper van like this on the side of the road, you can set a bag in here and give yourself a little respawn just in case, You can fix it up if you find the car parts and everything, but I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just outside of harbor. One thing about building next to these monuments and everything, there is a build radius around which you cannot build inside of it. On the outside here, I'm able to build. I'm just gonna build a simple 1x2. When you have your building plan in your hand, press and hold the right mouse button to open up your wheel here. Now you have a bunch of different building blocks. You have to build a foundation. As you can see right here, this is a square foundation, another square foundation, and then I did a triangle. The reason why I did it like this is because the way I did these doorways, if I go and place a door on here, it's going to open out and it's going to block this door and prevent people from going deep if I ever die with this front door open. Now this isn't a very strong base at the moment because it's all twig, so let's go on ahead and upgrade it. I have building skins, so I'm going to do it in Brutalist. Ooh, don't have enough stone. Luckily for me, there is some stone right here, so I will just grab that real quick. It does take a decent little bit of stone to upgrade it all. Usually it's best to farm enough to fully upgrade it in one go. However, I didn't do that this time. You don't necessarily want to be fumbling around with this on a live server. So as you may have heard by that sound, since I'm built here at the harbor, there is a cargo ship that comes every so often, docks. Now I'm just gonna place my sleeping bag in here like so. I do need a little bit more materials. Craft a tool cupboard, which is going to allow me to secure my position. So right now, if someone were to come and place a tool cupboard on my base, I could not stop them and they could demolish my work because it's been less than 10 minutes since I built it. Tool cupboard. Now, it's very important when you're placing this, you want to push it as far back and into the corner as humanly possible. Snug in there as you can get. That right there is really good placement. I'm going to go on ahead and craft a small or a wood storage box just to get some of this stuff out of my inventory. Now, as you can see, like raw materials and stuff you can put in the tool cupboard. You used to be able to put sulfur and gunpowder in here, but you cannot do that anymore. They changed it. And yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and place this down. Once it's crafted, it'll be in your inventory. You just drag it to your hotbar. Alrighty, what I just did there is called a hover loot. So usually the default is H, but I've rebound mine. If you go and press and hold H, you can just quickly move things between containers. Alright, so I'm gonna just put all that away. I do need to craft another door and another key lock. Actually, 2 key locks. One for the tool cupboard. Always make sure you lock your tool cupboard. It is vitally important that you protect it. It is the heart and soul of your base. You don't want people to have easy access to it. You don't want people to break it. Your tool cupboard upkeeps your entire base. If your tool cupboard is destroyed, all your walls and stuff will start to decay. It usually takes about 24 hours for a building to fully decay. Also, if you ever need to replace a door, you have to take the key lock off. As you can see, it doesn't give me an option to remove it, but if I unlock it, press and hold E to open up this menu. As you can also see on a key lock, there's a little red dot here if it's locked. If it's unlocked, then it's green. If it's unlocked, you can remove the lock. Then have to open the door and press and hold E again to pick it up. It's just left click to place it. Also with doors, it'll change depending on how you look at the door frame, which side it'll snap to. If I put it on like that, it opens inwards. But I don't want that. I want it this way. So it opens outwards and it blocks this door, prevents people from going deep. I might go for this cargo here. So when you have a bow and arrow, the way that you use it, press and hold right click, pull the arrow back, and then once it's fully drawn back, you left click to release it. Okay, well, cargo's not gonna work out, guys. Oh no. Oh no. Let's see if we can just grab something. Something. Oh. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, shit. Alright, so as you can see, I've died. Now, because I have a sleeping bag in the base, I can respawn by left-clicking on my bag. Or on this camper. I think I'll spawn in the camper. Alright, so now you've respawned. You have a whole new outlook on life. So, yeah, you have junk piles that spawn along the sides of the road. Find food crates, like right here. If you ever find a water jug, don't take it into your hands and left or right click because you will dump it out. What you want to do is click it, left mouse button, drink the contents. So yeah, with your rock and or any hitting tool, you can farm barrels. You'll have to farm a lot of barrels to get places. I think right now, I'm just gonna try and focus on getting a tier 1 workbench. So as you can see, as you break the barrels, different items will drop. It's all random. Gotta take what you get and run with it. Now this doesn't seem like a whole lot, but if we recycle these sewing kits and rope, you'll get a lot of cloth. Oh no, Mr. Pig. The old hop on top of the junk pile trick worked. Ooh, binoculars. So binoculars are honestly kind of underrated in my opinion. They're very useful for spotting enemies from afar. If you ever find red barrels like this is a good way to get yourself some low grade fuel. So as you can see, when you break it, it'll drop low grade and crude oil. You'll need low grade to craft a lot of different things in the game, from med sticks to explosives for rockets, as well as using it as fuel in vehicles to get from A to B. All around, you're gonna need low grade. So having a steady supply of it's definitely a good thing. Crude oil, you can turn into low grade by cooking it in an oil refinery, which there is one at the harbor I can show here in just a minute once cargo's left. Ooh, that's a very good find. A metal hatchet is huge early game. It's like cargo's finally pulling out of here. So you'll see these road signs all around. They are pretty worth it to chop down. You'll get road signs and metal pipes. Both are important for their own crafting recipes. As you can see right there, I got rid of these car parts in place of the semi-auto body. That's because semi-auto's recyclable for a lot more than what these car parts are worth. I still think in the beginning stages of the game, it's still worth it to recycle car parts because it does give you metal fragments, which every metal frag counts in the early game. You're gonna go through a lot of metal. So from here, we're going to go on ahead and do a recycle run. So every monument's a little different. Some have recyclers, others don't. So this harbor, a little different from the other harbor. There are two different harbor layouts. This one, if you see a crane like this with another crane beyond it and a little shipping container that's open, this is the one where the recycler is going to be at the end of this pier. Find a box in here. Alrighty, so here we are. We're at the recycler. Good stuff. So different items are going to recycle for different things. Take these junk items, recycle them. Things like wood floor spikes are going to give you wood. Same with signs. Other things, if I recycle this planter box, gives wood and a 50% chance to give me back a piece of tarp. Igniters give metal frags back. The propane tanks give you lots of metal frags. Pipes and road signs give high qual. You do want to keep some rope. Also, you don't typically want to do what I'm doing and just like AFKing in the recycler. You do want to be watching your surroundings, but the pop's pretty low and I'm doing a tutorial, so it's all good. If I die, I die. It's gonna be really sad, but it is just a part of the game. Now, you don't have to recycle everything. As you can see, I haven't. That's because some of these different things are pretty useful. Now, I could keep farming, but that is really greedy. You want to try and get out as soon as you're done recycling because, you know, this is very valuable. It's the beginning of your wipe. You want to get out. Also, if you find a wood pile like these, this gives the most wood per swing. So as you can see, I got 848 wood from that one pile. Since I have these different resources in my inventory, I can craft different things if I wanted. For example, I could craft an Eoka pistol, which is kind of an unreliable shotgun pistol. It's better than nothing if you ain't got a weapon. Ooh, some armor, great. So if I hover loot this, I'll equip it. Now I got a little bit of melee protection, projectile protection. Alrighty, great. We are now home. Since I have the materials to do so on me, I'm gonna go ahead and craft my tier 1 workbench. And also, it is a DLC item. So if you want this, you have to buy the Frontier DLC in the item store. It is in the general store. Always gonna be available, about 10 bucks, but honestly, I would say for utility you get from these two items, it is more than worth it. You also get revised planners that don't take tarps. Really nice if you're trying to start a farm. And you also get a rocking chair, which doesn't sound all that crazy, but comfort healing is a thing in this game. So long as you have good food, good water, and 100% comfort, you will heal over time. So yeah, great. Okay. I have a tier 1 workbench. Now, press E on the workbench. You'll open up the tech tree here. There are 3 of them. As you can see, I have pretty much all the blueprints on here. I mean, there's a couple I don't have, but they're not that crazy. When you get a tier 2, you can still visit the tier 1 tech tree on the tier 2, and same thing with the tier 3. You can visit the other 2 tech trees from that. That's a more recent change that they made. Makes it a little bit easier, so you don't have to have one of each workbench down, taking up space. You just have the tier 3 and you have access to everything. Now, also crafting time. When you are near a workbench, typically depending on what tier it is going to reduce your crafting times by quite a bit. So if you're crafting a lot of stuff like deployables or ammo or meds or weapons or whatever, you want to make sure you are next to your workbench, the highest tier that you have, to make that go a little bit quicker. So I crafted this barrel here, a little bit of storage. I'm going to go ahead and place that down. Very, very useful item, these barrels. I'm going to go ahead and do a little organize here. Components up in here. I'm going to put my resources in the TC, add up. It's just kind of my miscellaneous box, you know? Okay, you know what? Actually, in here, it's kind of an okay place to put a drop box. It's really kind of situational. There's a hard and a soft side on the drop box. This would be the outside. This is the inside. As you can see, it has the large panel there. So I place that there. Now, pretty permanent part of the base. You kind of honestly can't get rid of it without breaking it or the wall it's attached. Either I'm just going to place here for now, because when I have furnaces set up here, I can use that to auto ignite them. All right, so I'm going to need more low grade to make furnaces. Find the items tab. As you can see, it's going to take 200 stone, 100 wood, 50 low grade per furnace. Now, as a general rule of thumb, I would usually recommend having at least 3 furnaces per person just to keep up with metal demands. I'm going to go on over here to the harbor. Actually, wait, no, I'm going to bring a gathering tool. Good habit to get into. Always make sure you have a hitting tool. If you have a small amount of wood and metal frags, one good thing I usually like to craft this, it's the machete. You actually don't even need a workbench to craft it. But the machete is a good hitting tool. It's solid. I can set waypoints there. So I got the $sign on the harbor because that's where I'm gonna make all the shmoney. Then I got my little house on my base because that's my home. Now we're gonna take this crude oil and this little bit of wood, and I'm gonna show you how the refineries work. Now, just keep in mind, I'm using this oil refinery to cook this crude oil. However, if you have a bow and arrow, you want to go hunt animals, that's another way to get lots of animal fat. Yeah, this is the refinery. There's one in the outpost, this place here on the map. There's one in each harbor. Water treatment's got one. Launch site has one. Power plant has one. There's a few others that have them, but yeah, you just press E on it, put your wood in the fuel slot, put your crude oil in the input slot, and then you will get a steady stream of low grade. You get 3 each. So this is over 150 low grade worth of crude oil, which is all I need to craft my furnaces. Turn it on over here. You can also turn that off if you need to, but we're just going to let that cook. Now that is going to take a little bit of time. Generally speaking, you don't want to leave your refinery and stuff unattended, but it's pretty low pop right now. I'm just going to do a little bit more farming, hit these barrels, loot these boxes, and we're going to progress. Now there is a card room here in Harbor. You do need a green card and a fuse, electric fuse, just like that. You can find green cards at different tier 1 monuments, like the gas stations, junkyard, ferry terminal, but you'll need that stuff to do the puzzle. Isn't this tutorial going so smooth, guys? It's my first time ever doing a tutorial, so I hope y'all enjoy. As you can see, I did go and keep some sewing kits, and that's because I have an item called the ninja suit. It was a Twitch drop, unfortunately. Sorry guys, you can't buy this one. It had to be there. But I'm going to craft this because it gives me 15% rad protection. I'm going to see if that's enough to go into the rad town. There are also other clothing items that you can craft. It's the exact same thing, like the surgeon scrubs. They're pretty expensive on the Steam marketplace, but if you want to, you can buy them. Although you do need a tier 1 workbench to craft them. There's actually one nice thing about the ninja suit. You can just craft it anywhere, like I just did. Now also, as a byproduct from cooking this crude oil, you are going to get charcoal. Charcoal is useful for other things like making gunpowder, so it's definitely a good idea to hang on to it. Now, I mean, I've got plenty of low grade, so I'm just going to cut that off right now. I still have 50 crude oil, but I have over 238 low grade, which is more than enough for my purposes. Thing with Rust, right, is it's all about these different runs that you're going to be making throughout your time playing Rust. You know, you're always going to need something. You're going to go on out, find what you need, and then try and bank it as quick as you go back out and do it over again. Small gains are still gains. You want to try to avoid being too greedy, but from time to time, if you're feeling pretty confident, you can be a little bit greedy. You just need to check that because, you know, you might get yourself into situations. Now, I brought a bear rug back that I found because these give 100% comfort. This is actually a solo's best friend, unless you craft a rocking chair, which will also give you 100% comfort. Now, let's talk weapons, right? So everyone knows the bow, another really popular one, crossbow. It's usually pretty worth it to have one of these. They're pretty solid weapons in the early game. You also have compound bows, which are a little bit spicier than your typical regular bow. Now, Rust is a component-based crafting game. As you can see, to craft this crossbow, you do need items that you cannot craft, such as rope. You're gonna have to find these items out in the world if you want to craft these items. Again, you know, you got the craft button just down here. Whatever you want to craft, just queue it up. As long as you have the materials, press left click on craft, or you can double click the item that you want to craft. I'm gonna go ahead and craft a couple of furnaces, put the remainder up. Also from here, I need tools. So I already have a hatchet. I'm gonna go ahead ahead and make myself a pickaxe. If you have different skins in the game, you just go and click them to apply them. Like I said, I wanted the Wartech pickaxe. So just go and set it, forget it. Now with the crossbow, it's a little different from the bow. Press R to reload it. Same with all the guns, is R to reload. But, you know, it's like having a fully charged shot at all times. And then, you know, when you let go, it's instant. So I'm going to go ahead and place down furnaces. Again, you want to try and get them nice and squared away, you know, as best as you can in the corner. You know, kind of snug. You kind of got to shift it around a little bit. There you go. Now you got a couple furnaces. Now, any metal ore, empty cans of beans, sulfur, things of that nature, you can now cook these items, which is very important for progression. So I have 2 furnaces. I want to split it 50-50 so it's cooking optimally. Do that. You can middle mouse click, drag, and that'll split the item in half. Alternatively, if I had 3 furnaces I want to do this to, if you press and hold shift and then middle mouse click, you'll take a third of the stack off. Then you release shift, middle mouse wheel, drag, you'll split it in half. So you split it 3 ways. We don't need that though, it's all we got. So hover loot these in. I'm gonna put this bean can, or this empty can of beans in there. There we go. And now we have all this stuff cooking. So you'll get metal frags, as well as sulfur, charcoal. As you can see, the empty can of beans is worth about 15 metal frags. So it's definitely worth it to cook these if you have a bunch of them. You cook metal and sulfur together. In the early game, if you are just really needing metal, I recommend holding off on cooking the sulfur, but since I don't really have a lot of it, I'm not really too worried about that. But yeah, we're just gonna go get some more stuff. And like I said, now I have metal tools, so I get the maximum amount from each node. Sometimes you gotta crouch to hit some of these things when they're low to the ground like this. Okay, so I basically just hit 1 of every node. As you can see, with metal tools, this is what you can expect to get from everything in the game. Or from you hit the wood piles, that's basically the wood version of nodes. With a metal tool, you'll get 848 wood. With a salvaged cleaver or chainsaw, you will get 1,000 though. Huge. So that could be, you know, 3,000 wood right there if I had the right tool. Now it's not like much crazier with the pick tools, but the higher level your pickaxe and or if you have a jackhammer, it just essentially speeds up the gather rate significantly. So it's more of a time saver than it is a resource boost. So like I said, you know, each sulfur node you'll get 300 sulfur, each metal node you'll get 600 metal, and 2 high quality metal ores each. And for each stone node you'll get 1,000 stone. I'm gonna craft myself some more arrows because I'm desperately in need of arrows. So the max that you can put in here of each resource is 1,000 wood, 1,000 metal, 1,000 sulfur, or I think up to 100 high quality metal ores. Now high quality does take longer to cook than everything else. Also, if you have sulfur in there and you're trying to cook it, there's no space. It will kick it out of the furnace as you just saw there. A charcoal you can put in the tool cupboard, but funnily enough, you can't put the cooked sulfur. So you're just gonna have to find a box and that's gonna be your sulfur box. Let's continue to talk about weapons. So as you go through the tech tree here, you know, you'll unlock different weapons like the water pipe shotgun or the double barrel. These are great rub tools. In the early game, these can get you to higher tiers of guns more reliably than most other weapons. Now, one of the big weapons that you might finally get once you get working down here is going to be the Reva, or the revolver. It's an 8-shot revolver. You get pistol bullets as well. You'll have to craft those separately. And then as you work your way down, you will get to explosives. This is going to be your first taste of raiding. Bean can grenades and satchel charges can be used for blowing up other people's bases. Fire arrows can be used to destroy tool cupboards. Now they recently added this handmade SMG into the game, and because I have the stuff to do it, why not, you know? Go ahead and craft it. Oh, I guess actually I need more metal to cook. Go ahead and add that 3rd furnace now. Now, sometimes you might have to pick up an item, such as my sleeping bag right there was just a little too close. There we go. Oh wait, I could have gone just a little farther back. Pick up deployables, you have to have a hammer and you have to press and hold E. That's a little bit better. There we go. So we're pretty well split up here now. We got 3 furnaces cooking. That is good cook rate right there. Now, while it's nighttime, it's not a bad idea to go ahead and chop some wood. I mean, just remember, Rust is a numbers game. So you always want to be doing something. You want to be gathering, killing other players, raiding their bases, trying to counter raids. Good little amount of wood. Go ahead and bring that in and feed our furnaces. Good idea to try and keep them topped up and to have a little bit in reserve. Wood's a big one. You're going to go through a lot of wood. I would honestly say it's almost impossible to have too much wood. You use it for so many different things, from crafting recipes, building, running the furnaces. So you're always going to need wood. It's a very important resource. If you see someone farming a tree, you might want to try to kill them just to get yourself some more resources. I now have enough resources to craft a gun. Now, of course, like you saw me do at the harbor where I ran out and recycled at the recycler, you're going to keep making trips like that, farming barrels, recycling until you have enough scrap to tech tree down to your weapons. And then once you have them learned, go in here and weapons, handmade SMG, I'm going to craft one. I'm also going to craft a weapon flashlight for it too. We like having nice things. And then another thing that you're going to need, since I am crafting a gun, you're going to need gunpowder. Very important because you need it to craft pistol bullets. 10 metal frags and 5 gunpowder to make 4 pistol bullets. Now to craft 10 gunpowder, which is how much you get per craft, it's going to take 30 charcoal, 20 sulfur. So it's going to be 3 charcoal to every 2 sulfur. Now, of course, you have to have the 30 and 20 ratio to actually craft gunpowder in the first place. You can craft a 1-to-1, but you need a mixing table to do that, where it would take like 2,000 sulfur and 2,000 charcoal to get 1,000 gunpowder. Sulfur always gives you half the amount of gunpowder for how much sulfur you have. So to make 1,000 gunpowder, you need 2,000 sulfur and 2,000 charcoal in a mixing table. Since I crafted a weapon flashlight, that's an attachment for a gun. You just drag it and drop it. Now it's on my handmade SMG. I can also move it on over here. Mess with attachments up in here. That's where you'll find it. I have a flashlight. If you press F, that's how you turn the flashlight on. Press F again, turn it off. We are gonna go on ahead and craft some pistol bullets. As many as we can. We can't really do a ton, but we do what we can. I like to keep my charcoal, my sulfur, my gunpowder in the same box if I can. Just kind of makes it a little bit easier. Keep it all organized. Press R to reload. Now we have a gun to defend ourselves with. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, so I have wood doors on here. Wood doors are fairly easy to raid, and so is having this walled wood. So if I take some of this stone, let me go on ahead, I'll finish upgrading this to stone, and I'll upgrade this to stone. And now my whole base doesn't require like any wood to upkeep it, except for the wood that it takes to upkeep these 2 doors. When I have enough metal to do so, I can craft sheet metal doors, and you're gonna want to make that swap as soon as you can. Alrighty, I actually do now have enough to at least make one of my doors metal. I have a skin that has a window in it, so I can kind of look out. Not a bad purchase, and I believe the industrial factory door is available in the general shop pretty much all the time. It's a really good skin. It's pay to win, but it's pay to win in a way that's accessible and not crazy expensive. Now look at that. Metal door. This takes 4 satchels to break, whereas this is only like 2 satchels or 2 Molotovs to break. Huge improvement in security for the base. Go check out the rad town, see if I have what it takes. I have a keybind set up to automatically craft bandages. Maybe I might be kind enough to include the command to do that. Car lift, but it's not usable. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, it's really radioactive up in here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my. Help. Wow, that was really radioactive up in that house, huh? So if you have a lot of radiation like this, if you have a water jug handy, drink as much water as you can, because it'll help the rads go away. Look at that. All better. There's supposed to be a recycler in there. I have a lot of rads right now. I actually am unable to run. Now you can sustain the damage that you take with bandages. So by recycling these sewing kits, we're going to get lots of cloth. So as you can see, so long as I have cloth, I can out heal the radiation damage for now. That's gonna get really expensive. Okay, let's get away from this. Oh my goodness. So as you drink water as well, you get a little bit of temporary health. I have too much radiation to keep it, so it keeps knocking it off of me, but you can heal up to 40 health maximum with water before it stops healing you. I'm honestly probably going to succumb to my radiation damage. Oh my god, I just found a jackhammer. That is massive. If you do find yourself in a dire situation like this, remember that keybind I told you about? You know, I could find a place to hide, kill, and then just run back from an outside sleeping bag and get my stuff. But I live right here, so we're just gonna waltz right in here and probably die. Yeah, I am very dead. It's kind of a shame because I had full food, full water, but it is what it is. One nice thing to know is you can harvest your body. If you've been alive a while, you'll get quite a bit of animal fat if you use a combat knife or a bone knife. There you go. Look at that. 21 animal fat because I've been alive for a while. You also get skulls sometimes. They give you 20 bone frags. So it takes 30 bone frags to make a bone knife, which is like your most simple gutting tool for when you're hunting. Also, if you wanted to turn this animal fat into low grade, you just go up to your resources. As you can see, it takes 3 animal fat, 1 cloth. We are just going to press this button to craft the maximum amount that I can, or you can use the plus and minus or type in a number. I'm just going to craft what I can, and you can either double click or craft down here. Either way, it's going to craft. Human meat, you don't really want to eat that. It makes you dehydrated, but if you got a good water source, it is an option. Cannibalism is very much in. So by having enough food and water, by standing in the sweet spot underneath the bear rug, I should be able to get 100% comfort, which I have achieved. As you can see, since I have over 100 water and well over 100 food, I will slowly regenerate back up to full health so long as I maintain 100% comfort. All right, so now normally for hunting animals and stuff, you'd want to use like a bow and arrow, but if you have a gun, that works too. Go ahead and chop them up with this combat knife. Alrighty, and now we got food. More animal fat, cloth, and leather. Now, leather is something we haven't really talked about. There are different clothing items that require leather, like the primitive sets, which give decent rad protection in the early game. I'm gonna go ahead and craft up some pants and some shoes, as well as turn all the low grade. As you can see, I just did the middle mouse wheel click, so I crafted 5 at a time animal fats. Go ahead and throw that in there. Now, you can craft a campfire to cook, but I'm going to make a barbecue because they are a little bit more efficient and you can cook a lot more, a lot faster. Now I can also craft some burlap clothes as well, such as, let's go with the pirate shirt. Let's make Santa beard, which is the same as a bandana mask. You do have to buy a bandana skin to be able to craft the bandana, but there are some that you can find for dirt cheap, like literally pennies. Santa beard is kind of OP though because it crafts in like 2 seconds. So it's like the fastest way to get a bandana. And then you also got boonie hats. I got the funny hat skin, so let's go with that. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this box here because I have the barbecue. I'm just gonna place this right here. And then we're gonna put the small box back, because why not? Perfect little place for it. We are cooking food. You don't want to eat the animal meats uncooked because it will poison you and it does not give as much calories. You can see the difference uncooked and the cooked. Now that's done. Turn that back off. As you can see, our furnace has been hard at work. Let's turn that off because it's done cooking. Craft as much gunpowder as I can. Also craft more pistol bullets. Mouse wheel on that. I also have enough metal frags that I can make a second sheet metal door to make my base a little bit more secure. Also, since I have the materials to do so, I am also going to craft a storage barrel, a vertical one, because I can stick that right here. When the time is right, I can automate these furnaces to automatically take ores out of a barrel here, distribute them into the furnaces, and then take the output and put them back in the barrel. Very easy circuit. Everyone should know how to do it. Now, we are approaching the point where I'm soon going to be able to make a tier 2, which is huge. All right, so now that I've crafted my second sheet metal door, we're going to remove this wood door. Make sure it's facing the right way. It opens out. Good. Now, assuming that you went down the tier 1 tech tree over here, you're gonna need a small battery, a solar panel, and some of these other components. Mainly just these. I'm gonna go ahead and just craft these now. I need one for each furnace and then one for the box. And we're gonna need a conveyor. We are also going to need a wire tool and a pipe wrench. And now I have no high qual. Save just a little bit of wood there. Turn those off for now. Oh my god, that actually fit there. The only downside with only having a tier 1 is that some of these components are going to take 30 seconds each to craft. So it takes 2 full minutes to craft the attachment points for all of this. All right, now we're just going to put our conveyor there. And essentially, it's ready. If you look here at the different attachment points, they'll show you the arrows telling you which way it goes. So the blue arrow is the input, red arrow is the output. Now the nice thing is, with these, you can daisy chain them together. That output goes into there, this output goes into here, and then from here, you can just daisy chain that down here to the input on the barrel. So anything that you cook will come out straight into the barrel. And then from here, your conveyor is going to need to pull resources from this barrel, and the output going to go to the start of the daisy chain. And so this is essentially set up at this point. The only thing that I need is more high quality craft battery to hook this up so that it's all good to go. So I do need more stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to craft myself a mace, or in this case a baseball bat because I have the skin. We are going to go get more components, recycle, and continue to progress. As you can see, the mace is a really good tool for farming the road. 1 shots barrels, 2 shots road signs. Well, I didn't even realize that this is here. Man, Mr. Bear was messing me up. So bears are really good to kill. They give a lot of leather, a lot of cloth, and a lot of animal fat. So this is a fairly new addition that they added on here. There's a vendor here at the water pump, and he sells things from time to time. Actually, pretty good deal for some pistol bullets. Why not? Get a little ammo. You can also kill him. It's kind of mean, bro, but it is. Few more pistol bullets because I used quite a few killing those bears. We have a lot of low grade crafting. Guess while I'm standing here crafting, make sure you got 100% comfort so you can heal up. Eating food also does give you a little bit of temporary healing. As you can see, the little light green there is like temporary health that you will heal if you don't take any damage or start bleeding or take radiation damage or drowning or something. Take some of this junk, don't need, we'll recycle it. Bad idea to keep some bandages on you and a little bit of extra cloth. Takes 4 cloth to craft 1 bandage. All right, so yeah, we are just gonna run and recycle all this. I might hit a few more things on the way. If we're really lucky, we'll find a solar panel or a piece of tech trash. I need that to craft a solar panel. Alrighty, so we got a load of stuff to recycle, got weapon to defend ourselves, we have meds, tools to continue to gather with. Doing good. Alrighty, so we are recycling. Very important when you're recycling, you want to try to patrol the area. You want to make sure no one's sneaking up on you. You know, you work hard for the loot that you get, so you want to be able to protect it. It means watching out for grubs. You want to look places that you wouldn't really think to look. People are crafty. There are a lot of nodes over here. I think it might honestly be worth bringing the jackhammer out. Before that, we are going to make a mixing table. Now, this tuna can lamp that I kept, it's kind of a cheap source of light. I'm just gonna put this up here now. It's not really for anything, but splitters are pretty expensive to craft, so it's always kind of a good idea to keep splitters and electrical branches and stuff if we find them. Now, I have enough to craft a tier 2. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. To craft it, you are gonna need 500 metal fragments, 20 high quality metal, and 500 scrap. So it is a bit of an investment for your tier 2, but it's a very worthwhile one. You wanna be careful when you're placing your tier 2 down so you don't block your doorway. Now, with it placed, you can actually fit 2 small boxes underneath. You pull out the small box, press R to rotate it, slot it right in. It's like that. Now, something I usually like to do, I usually like to have like some components under here at first. I'm going to move some stuff around real quick, pick this barrel up, and I'm going to move it back here into this corner, far back as it'll let me. Now, let's go make some additions to the base. First, I'm going to expand this out, a couple more triangles, so now we have a little bit more of a footing. Your standard 1x2, this is about what you would want to do to it. You want to go around the outside with triangles and just make sure. So you need foundations for the ground, and you need floor triangles or floors for ceilings. As you can see, add all that. Now you would upgrade this and seal it in. looks like that, and then you'd upgrade it, and that would be what's called honeycomb. I don't really have the materials to upgrade all that right now though, so I'm just going to leave it for now. However, I am going to go ahead and craft a mixing table. You're going to take 2 blueberries and 2 yellow berries like so, as well as my jackhammer. There we go. Look at that. So you just put them in other way. Yellowberry, blueberry, yellowberry, blueberry. Start mixing. And just like that, we have a basic ore tea. Now, the benefits of a basic ore tea, it gives you 30 hydration and 20% extra ore yield. It's gonna last for 30 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and give that a drink. Now, for the next 30 minutes, as you can see right here, I have 20% increased ore yields when I mine. Now is a good chance to bring out this jackhammer, and we're gonna put it to work here real quick. As you can see, with 20% increased ore yields, you get 1,200 stone or 720 metal ore. Still only get 2 high quality metal. You get 360 sulfur per node. Normally it's 1,000, 600, 300. Now at the T, 720, 360, 1,200. It's a small increase, but going nuts like this, it adds up quick. As you can see with a jackhammer, keys are vital, especially for solos, especially for clans. Keys benefit everybody, so use them when you can. Look at that, heaps of stone. And now, so long as I put materials in here, including wood, if I had power going to this, it would pull it out, put it in the furnaces for me. Look at that, I still have 22 minutes on this tea. Sometimes the only limiting factor of using teas is your inventory size and the amount of nodes around you. I'm going to go ahead and craft a small rechargeable battery. And now what that is going to allow me to do, wire up our auto smelter. I'm actually just going to put it here on the floor. So a battery is going to come with just a little bit of power, like pre-installed into it. It's like the little bit that you'll get. Okay, yeah. So when you have your wire tool in your hand, you're going to want to left click onto the power output, and then you will left click on the walls and stuff to move your wire around. Once you find the power in on your industrial conveyor, just plug that in, and then you also have a pass through here if you wanted. As long as this is powered, then you could plug this into something else, and this is constantly taking power from this, and it will slowly move materials from the barrel into the furnaces, and then it's going to take things out of the furnaces and put them into the barrel. Now you don't want to have like an igniter hardwired like this, because it is going to not only drain your battery, but it will slowly destroy itself over time. If you take, as you can see, it's at 243 out of 250 just from being constantly on like that. Now, one thing I'm also going to add, since I got the igniter there, if you find a button, or if you craft a button like I'm doing, you got your auto igniter. So let me just turn all these off, see what that looks like. Put your button on the wall, take the power out, put it into the power in of the igniter. Oh man, I have all this farm in here. I don't know how to cook it. Oh, what's this button do? Oh wow, it's a well-oiled machine, you know, like once you set it up, it just works. The only thing is I don't have a solar panel to charge the battery. As you can see, if I go and look at this, I've got 34 minutes before this battery is dead with its current power usage. But for 34 minutes, this is gonna automatically take stuff from this barrel, put it in here, and then pick it out and put it back in the barrel. Very simple, very easy to use. And since we have a tier 2, you can see up here you have access between the 2 different workbenches. As you can see, I have most of the BPs here. You can craft other guns and stuff. You can craft large furnaces, small oil refineries, so you can cook your crude oil into low grade. And yeah, I mean, basically at this point, I mean, you're playing Rust, guys. I mean, that's basically everything. I mean, we built a base, we hunted, we crafted guns, we tried to counter cargo. There's a lot of stuff you can do. You know, you can go on a roam. Rust is a sandbox game, you know, it is what you make it. So, you know, you just got to get out there, you know, go on roams, meet people, fight people. You know, I mean, that's what it's all about, you know. This is just basic survival, you know. We went from a naked on the beach to a clothed man in a house with weaponry. I'd say that's kind of a success. Now, one adjustment I would make to this base, I would add this and upgrade that. And then in the building plan, that's a wall frame. This is the double door wall frame. You need a double door frame to place double doors, garage doors, armored doors, metal shop fronts, wooden shop fronts, or actually, yeah, that's pretty much everything. Or chain link fence gates, or chain link fences. You don't want to have a chain link inside the base like this. In a base like this, you're gonna want just, you know, double door, and then we'll make another key lock. Now in a 2x1 like this, you want this door to swing open because this creates another airlock here. So if they're deep inside your airlock, they can't get into your base from here. Also, it wouldn't be a bad idea to lock these boxes so they can't get into them without breaking them. We'll go on ahead and do that now. So make a key lock or a code lock, doesn't really matter. Code locks are going to cost you more metal fragments, but if you're playing in a team, you're going to need a lot of code locks anyways. So now you can't really see it, but there is a key lock on both of these boxes. If anyone else were to try to open them, they couldn't do it. Only I can unlock them. You can make keys for key locks, but I don't recommend it because if someone gets the key, they can open your whole base up. And I've done it to people, so be careful with that. Gonna upgrade all this honeycomb. Okay, my mixing table is blocking it. You can also rotate the walls with R. As you can see, this is the hard side. Now real quickly, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna do a half height floor, place a roof triangle, and then I'm going to attempt to place one through the wall. Might not let me. Okay, I gotta go inside real quick. Blocked by storage adapter. Okay, well, now I've got that set up. I can demolish this, and my shelf on the inside will maintain itself. You can do this as like a temporary jump up. And look at that. So now we've honeycombed the base. We got to jump up to get to our roof. And we have a way to access the roof from the ground level, which right now it's not very safe because people could technically like roof camp us from our own roof, which isn't ideal. But in this instance, we're all right. So it's all good. So let me just take all this stuff out of here real quick. I got to move this barrel. I'm going to take this door off real quick. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to put this tip as far as I can, and then put this back on here. And then, so again, just like I did before, I'm going to take this output here, route it over here, take the input, route it over here. There we go. It's all set back up. We just go and put the stuff back in, and hallelujah, look at that. It just keeps on cooking. All right, so this is a good way to expand your loot room so you can store more stuff. Now I can put more boxes up in here. All right, so just like we did with the yellow berries and the blueberries, we're going to do the same thing, but with the red and blueberries. And that is going to make us a basic wood tea, which is going to increase our wood yield by 50% for 30 minutes and give us 30 hydration. Now I have 2 boosts active. I still have 20% extra ore yield and 50% wood yield, so I could gather either or and I'm still getting increased yield. So I'm just gonna go ahead and chop a tree. I got almost 1,000 wood from that one little tree. Some trees already give you 1,000 wood if you have like a salvage tool or a chainsaw, so you get even more from those trees. One method that you can use, it's a little bit lower profile. Don't cut the tree all the way. Listen for the crackles. So if you're chopping it, you hear those little crackles like that, kind of edge the tree a little bit. And then when you have a few trees, chop them all down at once. You get the biggest gain of materials off the tree falling. So you wait till the end, you get a massive boost. There we go. Go throw some more wood in. Had to wait a second. As you can see, it went and pulled wood out. Something fucking creeping on me. Oh God. Well, I'm not sure where that guy went, but he managed not to die. Where is this guy? I want to get some revenge. He didn't even kill me, but I want revenge anyway. Still have 1 minute of increased ore yield, so if I grab my jackhammer real quick. Oh, we got a little bit of extra stuff. This is my comps box, and this is more my resources box. I highly recommend doing like a resources box like this. It just kind of helps keep things more organized. And this is basically all the stuff that you need to survive right here. All right, so with backpacks, you just drag them on. Now they're attached. Now you're wondering, how do I open it? Simply left click, it'll open the backpack. Anything that you hover loot in your inventory will end up in there. Go and hover loot it back out. It's back in your inventory. Very awesome. Now, because I have med sticks learned, I'm just going to craft myself a couple. Also going to craft myself a shotgun trap just so I can defend my base a little bit in case someone's getting rowdy. So take gunpowder and stone. You can craft handmade shells. I think that's a pretty good amount. And so the way shotgun traps work, anyone that's authorized on your tool cupboard will not be shot by the shotgun trap, but anyone not authorized, different story. So you want to make sure you got the arrow facing the way you want the shotgun trap to be shooting. I'm going to make it so that it is nice and flush in there. So anyone that drops down is a dead man, essentially. Keep this door closed. They drop down, they're gonna die. Not me pausing my recording and then killing a couple guys and starting it up again. Ooh, sometimes that's just how it's gotta be, you know? So those guys that I killed, I just killed them like previously to that. I got 2 kills, but I paused my recording. I heard him kill an animal outside, which is the one I just chopped up. But I killed that guy, and then this guy came to kill me. I killed him, and then he came back. So I'm already making enemies. Need lots of components, and a great way to do that is to do the train tunnels. So I'm just gonna go over here to harbor, clear the station, and then come back with all my goodies. You want to kind of watch yourself down here because people like to camp. There's also a chance if it's a long enough section like this, they spawn tunnel dwellers up here. Now you crouch in this game, it makes the spray a little easier. Hide in here for a second, do a little healing, assess our meds and ammo situation. We got a decent amount of ammo left for the rest of this run. So as you can see, I used a med stick and it's got the temporary health. So long as I don't take any damage, it's gonna heal up that hollow bit of green. I'm just gonna use bandages. Bandages heal 5 health per bandage. So keep that in mind. If you're really low, you're gonna need a lot of bandage. As you can see, the tunnel dwellers are going to be stacked with components. There's a couple that spawn over here, but it looks like this time there's only one. Ooh, a large battery. Now that's a nice find. You want to do lots of like electrics. Ooh, he got me really low there. Yeah, if you want to do a lot of electrics later on, you are going to need large battery just to handle the circuits that you're going to be building. Now if you have a combat knife or a bone knife, you can get 5 cloth from each of these tunnel dwellers, which is huge. Combat knife's a little bit more efficient at flesh gathering, so be more likely to get the 5 cloth the first swing. Sometimes it doesn't happen, you just get bone frags, but that's alright. Woo! Gonna want to run because they're gonna chase me down the tracks. This is why you want to have a bandage bind. Makes it real easy just to spam some bandies real quick. Can keep going. There's actually another station over here if you wanted to. Well, we'll run it. As you can see, I can store all the junk up in here. I don't really need a large wooden sign. I'm just gonna throw that out. This is honestly one of the best ways to get components in the game. It's much faster if you actually take the train as well, but I didn't bring any low grade. I should have, but I figured I wasn't gonna do much more than one station. But since this one's so close, I'm just gonna run it, hoping to find a solar panel or some tech trash. Also, as you can see, the more I fire this gun, its durability is going down rapidly. It happens with every gun in the game, as well as every tool. You not want your gun to break on you. Bit of a saving grace. I found a Revo. Full health Revo too. That's actually really good. Ooh, a hoodie. Alrighty, well, we have cleared this little bit of tunnels, so the tunnel dwellers. So now we'll run back and it's time to leave. Hopefully it hasn't been long enough for these guys to respawn, which it doesn't look like it has been, so it should be good here. Exit on each side of the station, right there and right here. You're just gonna go back up the way we came, right? So my elevator is still here. Well, it's unfortunate that we didn't find any more tech trash and or a solar panel, but you know, it is what it is. There's actually a military crate up there on the zip line. I'm gonna check that out. Find these zip lines. You can find barrels and crates up here. So these zip lines allow you to traverse large swaths of the map if they're all connected up, attached to monuments. Oh my goodness, 3 tech trash. That's exactly what we needed, boys. And another bear run. Sweet. So from here, go ahead and press E to use the zip line, and we are heading home. Even better, look at this. Straight home. That was so unintentional, but I'm so glad it worked out like that. All the yummy components and stuff that we need to craft things. Okay, so certain deployables, when you have them on the ceiling, will block other deployables from being placed. Let's go and remove igniter real quick, put it back, and wire it back up. Another nice thing that they added, you can right click the attachment, swap off, pick up, or move whatever you need, and it'll keep the attachment so you can wire things up a little easier. So since we have the stuff to make a solar panel, I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. Don't forget your backpack. It's got lots of goodies in it, so just swipe all that into here. It is getting dark here, so it's kind of not ideal, but typically, so the sun is setting off over there. Typically, if you face your solar panels to the north, and that's usually good. I'm gonna go, yeah, we'll go just like this. Now later, as we expand upwards, we'll have to move this, but for now, it's all good. Wire this in. It's nighttime now, so unfortunately it's not going to generate any power, but wire this in. I have a root combiner here. You can plug 2 solar panels into the same input, effectively doubling your power generation. Then you just plug your root combiner into your battery just like so, and yeah, now you can generate power on demand. Once it's daytime again, it should automatically charge the battery, which will in turn turn my industrial conveyor back on, which will keep the materials flowing. So yeah, that's pretty much everything as far as like the basics are concerned. You know, obviously I can craft more storage. I actually might do that real quick. Yeah, now I can access this barrel. Got a barrel here, got a barrel here. All of our stuff we got under here. So yeah, I mean, that's all the basics. We've covered just about everything. Like, I mean, this is very basic early game progression. I could honestly probably call it there, honestly. Been playing for about 3.5 hours. I'd say for 3.5 hours, this is pretty good. Got furnaces, got industrials, got enemies, got some components. We might as well, right? We might as well go on ahead and just to kind of like finish it off, craft the goated semi-automatic rifle that will cost 450 metal fragments, 4 high-quality metal, a semi-body, and a spring. Once you're roaming with a SAR, this is a very good tier 2 gun. It will carry you to the ends of the earth. You'll basically just continue grinding every resource until you have enough to craft your tier 3. And since you now know how to use the crafting menu and how the resources are allocated and everything, you can take a look at whatever item you want to craft, and you can see its material costs. As long as you have the materials to fill the requirement, you can craft it. As many as you want. You know, you can also get guns from going to high tier monuments, which is large oil rig or small oil rig, or in this case it just says oil rig on the map. Other really high tier loot areas are launch site, which is usually contested by large groups. You have quarries that'll spawn across the map that you can use diesel. We didn't really go over diesel. You can find diesel laying around in different monuments. If you want to know where all the diesels spawn, there's plenty of guides out there. You just look up diesel spawns for the different monuments and run your routes. But look at us, boys. We are holding a tier 2 gun. Just like that, we have progressed so much. Yeah, I mean, what else is there really to say? I mean, this is how you play Rust. You'll learn something new every wipe. So I guess we can go over repairing things. So to repair items, you're going to craft a repair bench, and then just like every other deployable in the game, you gotta go find a spot to put it. You can temporarily just place it down if you just need to use it. Like in this instance, you can fit it. It's pretty low profile. You can put it under something like this, and you need to repair something, you just put your item in. It'll tell you what you need to repair it. And once you've repaired it, pick it back up, store it in the base. You can also change the skin different items in the repair bench. Let me actually just put this back down real quick. So if you go and put items in here, if you have any skins, you can select from the list, reskin it. This is a poncho, but you might find it as a gold chain or a lei. And then once you're done skinning, you just pick that back up. Yeah, make sure that you have enough upkeep in your tool cupboard so that your base doesn't decay. Now in this instance, I have way too much stone, honestly, for what I need in upkeep. We did a big farm run, so as you can see, the sun is rising now. It's not quite over top of this, but as soon as you got a good angle on the sun, solar panel is gonna do what the solar panel is gonna do. There we go, look at that. So we got power. So now the industrial conveyor is gonna start moving stuff again. It's been building up. Gonna put a little bit more wood in here. Everything in here should cook up. If you get on later or whatnot, then it should all be cooked for you. If you need to take a break at this point, you know, you've been gaming for almost 4 hours, so if you want to take a break, this is a good spot to take a break. You know, you got stuff cooking. But yeah, just remember, just rinse and repeat all the resources you can get. You never have enough of any of them until you have too much of it. But yeah, just play and have fun, guys. I mean, you know, half the fun of Rust is just going out with nothing and trying to snowball, come back home with a lot of other people's loot. You know, that's the name of the game, you know, and have fun while doing it. You know, if you find yourself getting angry, you know, take a break. You know, it's fine. You know, we've all had those moments. You know, Rust is a hard game. You know, it's tough. So, you know, if you find yourself getting mad, just take a short break. Maybe even just, you know, call it until next wipe. You know, that's the great thing about Rust. You can leave at any time. Whether or not you have your stuff still intact by the time you come back is another story, but you know, you can always rebuild. Anyhow, I think this is going to conclude my 5,500 hour Rust basic tutorial. This is also my 500th video on the channel, boys. So, you know, if you enjoyed, if you found this to have any kind of value, you know, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We're really trying to grow the channel here, boys. I don't really do a whole lot of like intros and stuff. I try to be quick and to the point. Subscribing and liking the videos, it helps the video do better in the algorithm, which makes YouTube happy, which makes me happy. I hope I've been able to like formally teach you how to play Rust. Now you have an idea. Go on out there and play a wipe the way you want to play it, you know? If you want to go fishing for a wipe, go fishing. If you want to build a farm, build a farm. Lots of other tutorials out there on how to play the game and how to do different things. So make sure you use that old YouTube search. But I'm going to go ahead and end it there. You boys and girls have a lovely day, and see you next time.